This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
Where can you take $10,000 off the 2026 Acura MDX? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Come on in to Toyota of Hollywood, where curiosity and extraordinary deals await you. Your golden ticket buys a 2025 Corolla, not $26,000, $17,988. And we've got sweet deals with 0% financing for 72 months, 0 down. Enter our world of wonder, and we'll show you why we're the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Now we're ready. There we go. Welcome aboard, folks. Time to rock and roll. Thank you for joining us on the program on a Thursday, May 7th, 2026. Day number 19,107 since our beloved Miami Dolphins were world champions. Day number 8,890 since the Canes were national champions. And day number 4,703 since the Miami Heat were world champions. Welcome aboard. I know it's tough, man. I know it's tough, okay? This isn't, for sports fans, this is not easy. The Heat is out. They don't have much of a future right now, as it looks like. The Panthers, they'll be back next year. They'll be roaring, and during this time, at least, we'll be able to talk about the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. I understand that this is a rough time for us, man. We got nothing in play, and you guys don't care about Inter Miami. The people in Inter don't realize that, but, I don't know, whatever. I guess they don't realize that the general public doesn't even know that they exist or care or anything like that. It's like a little novelty or something. It's not like a real team that's really connected to the community, that kind of stuff. So we've got nothing. And it's tough, dude. I get it. I saw, what is it, Kosa, Good Day, Big O, anxiously awaiting the start of the NFL and college. I can't wait for the Canes, because obviously the Canes is a really good season. The Dolphins, we're just hopeful that these guys know what they're doing and they know how to build it. That's it. We don't know. You can't answer it. I can't answer it. We love their vibe, right? So far, you love how they talk, how they present themselves, but that doesn't mean anything, right? It's tough, man. I get it. It is absolutely tough. And all you're going to do is come up with fake subjects and things like that. Whatever. Like I was having fun. An article talking about the battle of Juju Brents versus Jason Marshall. You're reaching deep into the offseason when you've got to write an article about Juju Brents versus Jason Marshall. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. So I get it. Now on our show, we're not really just Dolphin centric. We do talk about all kinds of things, all kinds of sports, all kinds of things in life and all that. So we're a little different. We're not a one niche type of show. So it's at least we get to go and talk about other things. By the way, today I had a little fun on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, right? And I did a little, I don't know if it's Throwback Thursday or Tuesday or whatever, but it's with a T, right? So I took advantage and I called it a Throwback Thursday. And if you go, I should do this more often on social media. We were talking about the Orange Bowl history, and we were talking about Hard Rock Stadium and how Hard Rock Stadium really has zero history when it comes to sports for us locally outside of the Marlins championships, right? There really hasn't been much accomplished in that stadium on the football side. And so, and we were talking about also the rich history of music in the Orange Bowl. So I posted, I think I can enlarge that, right? I should be able to enlarge that. There we go. So I pulled out from some of my old tickets. Oh, you got to admit my 87 ticket is still in great shape. The 88 looks, or 80, yeah, 88, Monsters of Rock. That looks like it's supposed to look, okay? I got two of those Bowies because when I took it out to take the picture of it, there was a second one behind it. But anyway, the idea, I wanted to post that just to have a little fun, throwback, the Orange Bowl, all that. That was the last time I saw David Bowie. And Monsters of Rock, that was Van Halen, Scorpions, Metallica, Dokken, Kingdom Come, $25. $25 to see Van Halen, Metallica, Scorpions. Okay. Dokken, I love Dokken, but maybe the average person doesn't. But the average person knows the other three really well, right? Kingdom Come, most of you have no idea. I'm not that much of a Kingdom Come fan anyways, to be quite honest. But the other ones, yes, obviously. But $25. It's like I paid $5 per band. That's ridiculous. David Bowie. I got to see David Bowie for $20, tax included. Just funny, man. It is hilarious to see how that how things have evolved, right? Pretty crazy. Anyway, might as well have a little fun with that, right? Let's see. What else do we have going on in the world of finance? Let's open up the markets. I think should be opening up with decent stuff because at least the bombs aren't flying and all that kind of stuff between the U.S. and Iran. So we'll see. I think the Dow right now is down only 59 points. The S&P is up 7. And the NASDAQ is down 1/4 point. So, again, a solid day, all good. Remember, once it hits 50, the Dolphins are winning the championship. So that's the good thing. If it hits 50, we have the Bondi rule. We're going to we're going to the championship. Bitcoin is at 80,500. Hit 82. Now consolidating a little bit, as always. That's kind of the way it goes. I do want to, before I start on the sports stuff, I do want to warn you that we're still like headed for bad stuff. Okay, gas, LPGs, jet fuel, diesel. We're running low on all of that. Us and Europe. We're going to get to a point where we're empty. Okay, because the oil, when it's drilled out, it's the world's oil. It's owned by the gas companies. It's not like we get to keep ours. Okay, no, we pay the gas prices that the world pays. That's just the way it goes. It's not like, so we're about to hit in June and July where in Asia and in Australia, they're already feeling it bad. It's going to get even worse. Japan just warned their people for hyperinflation, but that's because of the war and how they've mismanaged their money and their economy the last 10 years, having the 0% rate and doing all the crazy shit that they've done. So it's been kind of a 1-2 punch for Japan, their own damage, and then came the war, and then that has walloped them. So be prepared, save a little money, be a little bit more frugal about what you're doing, because it's going to get a lot worse. Okay, even if the war stopped today and they came to an agreement and everything was kosher, okay, it's going to take 6 months to a year to get the backlog and to get everything back to normal again, because either things are destroyed, discombobulated, disconnected, and so it's just going to take a while. So June and July, we're going to start feeling some serious ass pain, and it's coming. And if this continues or it escalates, it will get even worse. You're going to see thousands and thousands and thousands of more flights being canceled. So if you have preparations to take vacations this summer, I'd be very worried about that. Okay? I'd be very worried about that, because some of your flights will get canceled. It's going to happen. This has gone on too long, and it has set us back. So that backlog, we are going to feel it even more and even more and even more. I just want you guys to know that. So the stock market could drop up to 30%. GDP could drop up to 10%. Bitcoin could drop easily to 60, 65. So there could be another dip. Depends on what happens there, but because some of the money might go also in there when they see everything else collapsing. So I don't know, but we'll see. I just, I do a lot more than sports. I'm a lot more than just the Dolphins, and I get it. People gravitate here for my Dolphins talk at times. That's what it is. But I'll be 60 in October. I have different interests. I'm a different person. I love sports and all that, and I love music and life and all kinds of stuff. So I follow all kinds of stuff. And not that it's ever financial advice or anything, but just do your own homework and check it out, because we still have some rough waters ahead. So be careful and plan ahead. All right. That is done. I'm over. All right. What else do we have going on? We got some stuff to talk about. Manny Navarro will return today, so we'll have Manny. So we'll have Manny and Furones. That's kind of where we're going to stay with football moving forward. Not going to go into any of the other sports. We'll talk about all the other sports, but I'm not going to have insiders every week for any of the other sports right now. For basketball at the time being, because I kind of see what's going on with the Heat, unfortunately. And it's kind of chasing your tail is what the whole Heat thing is, unfortunately. And then, it gets monotonous to see what's going on with the Miami Heat. It's sad, actually, to go from where they were and how they were looked upon to where they're at now, where they're really struggling to make good decisions. It's kind of rough. And by the way, for the desperate Heat Nation and Heat fans, I may disagree with the decision, right? to go after old broken down stars like Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant. But for those of you that are wanting that move to happen, well, you might get an answer on one of them right away, because the Bucks owner, Jimmy Haslam, co-owner Jimmy Haslam, said he would like to have the Giannis Antetokounmpo future sorted out before next month's draft. I just think before the draft is a natural time, Haslam said, because if Giannis does play somewhere else, we've got to have a lot of assets. That's John's job to do. And if he's here, then you build the team differently. Okay? Bucks can offer Antetokounmpo a 4-year, $275 million contract extension. If Antetokounmpo doesn't sign, he could become a free agent next season. And the Heat are rumored to going after the Bucks. Now, there was a key thing that he said there, because if Giannis does play somewhere else, we've got to have a lot of assets. I hate to disagree with Pat Riley like I've had to disagree over the last 10 years on several things. I disagree with him. He thinks he has assets. They don't have assets. They have 2 first-rounders. Nobody wants Tyler Hero, dude. They're all going to ask you for Bam. They're not starving for any of your other players. I like what Jaime did this year. They're not starving to get Jaime off your back, because they in this league it's a 3 and D. He's really a 2, not 3. I'm saying 2 as in that's what he shoots constantly, and very good. He does a great job. And it's a great complementary weapon to have to an offense, for sure. You want to get some easy buckets. You want guys that can get the tough buckets inside, and Jaime has proven that, but they're not standing up. They're not in line to go get Jaime Jaquez off of you. To me, it just looks like somebody else will have a much better offer. In fact, several teams will probably have better offers, is what I can see. So at least the Heat fan, you, me, and whoever's listening out there, we're going to get closure on this pretty close, right by the draft. We'll find out. At least we know that. I don't know when the Kawhi thing will get settled. I just hope he doesn't end up here. That's the only thing I can tell you all. I just hope he doesn't end up here. I've already told you what I think they should be doing. The Heat should be tearing it down. They should have been tearing it down a while ago. They're continuing to chase their tail here, and in the process, the few assets they have will become worse, because you ruined the Tyler Hero one. You had the one non-injury year, and you didn't get rid of him at that moment because you hung on for some false hope. It's a shame, dude. It's a real shame what's happened with the Miami Heat. But at least for those of you out there that want this to happen, or those of us that don't want it to happen, we'll find out. One of my buddies told me, well, okay, so if they're not going to do what you want to do, isn't it better that they just do this? At least we have something. And I go, yeah, but that then puts you deeper into the abyss, because you're really not going to win anything. And then you've lost whatever assets you had. And so now you're in an even worse spot than you were before. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I just don't understand how they don't see how you're supposed to get the big talent nowadays. Don't forget, folks, Caneswear. You can visit our friends out there at Caneswear. They do excellent work. Brett, Jeff, all the great people out there, Jack. Amazing people. Use our code BIGO10 and you will get 10% off anything in the store. And remember, you can also use the Big O10 online when you order online. And if you order online over $99, you will get free shipping. Okay. There you go. Caneswear.com. And tell them that Big O sent you. Good people there at Caneswear. All right. Don't forget, folks, we got the Fort Lauderdale United playing this weekend. Home game against Carolina Ascent. You can get your tickets at FTLUTD.com, 7:30 Saturday at Beyond Bankcard Field. And you can use that QR code there also at the same time if you want to get tickets. All right. If you want to make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. We always appreciate it, whatever it is and however it is that you support us. All right, let me see what we got here. I see we got the Jaybird in the house. Number 1, Fort Lauderdale United. That's right, Bankcard Field. He says the Fan Fest, including World Cup ticket giveaways. That's right. What's it called? Go to the website, and they've got ticket giveaways and everything. So check it out. They're at the website FTLUTD.com and join up the fan base, join up the Facebook fan base page and everything. It's on my Facebook page. You can see the link there. Jeff in Long Island. As of now, the Dow is close to 50,000. Once we hit 50, the Dolphins, with whatever talent they have on the field, will go undefeated and win it all. It's the Bondi rule. Alexis Palenzuela. Lenny Pena. Big Johnson. Cosa Nostra. NorCal. Ty in the Bronx. Jeff in Long Island. Jamie Zori out in San Jose, reminding everybody, that's right, smash the like button. Always smash it. Whenever you watch any video, you step into a show, a rant, whatever, please smash the like button, all right? Gets that algorithm going. It really helps us. Let's see. Back when money was actually worth what you was purchasing. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, you were getting more bang for your buck back in the day. NorCal says, I saw that show at the Oakland Coliseum in 88 Day on the Green Metallica. Green Metallica, Scorpions, Faith No More, and Kingdom Come. Okay. All right. So I got you. Let's see. Ragin, good morning to you, sir. Lenny says, wow, Big O, the bottom ticket is in mint condition. Looks like you hopped in a DeLorean and went back in 97. Yeah. It's crazy how some of them, like I can show you this one. And this is Fleetwood Mac. You can't see it anymore. But it's Fleetwood Mac. You know, you can't see it, but I can still see it a little bit. So some of them were in great shape, and some of them are not in such great shape. Like this one, U2, 1987. Something like that. This one's in pretty good shape. Where's the Bowie one that I just showed, that I took a picture of? Where's that Bowie one? Oh, man. Oh. Where are we at here? The Fix, Leonard, and look at this. Look at this. Look at this one. This is pay-per-view, of course, back in the day. Leonard Hearns. It's crazy, right? Leonard Hearns. Where's the damn Bowie one? Oh, here it is. So yeah, the Bowie one is in impeccable shape. And like I told you, there's two. Yeah. They're probably worth something, right? Somebody will probably pay for these things, actually. Let's see. Show you this one. I don't know. Did I show you this? U2, 1987. There you go. There you go. That fuckus in there, right there. How about that? Celador and Silver Star. I forgot about Silver Star. I remember Celador and Bass. Don't know anything about Silver Star back in the day. Yeah, I kept some of them. What else is? Oh, God. When we were bringing basketball here to Miami, before we had the Miami Heat, we had an exhibition game between the Sixers and the Nets. The Doc was on one team, and on the other team was Daryl Dawkins, formerly of the Sixers, but Chocolate Thunder was playing there. So before we had the Miami Heat, I don't know if you can tell, but it says the best is yet to come. This was a ticket I paid $25 for to go see at the Miami Night Center. The Miami Night Center. And that's where the Nets and the Sixers were playing. So the NBA was testing us out to see if we would support NBA basketball. And we packed the place, bro. It's the Night Center. We packed it. Home of Kevin Presto. Some of you have no idea what I just said. Anyway, so there you go. There's a little reminiscent of some of my old concert tickets and other events, as you can see, back in the day. A man that also has been here since back in the day, of course, is the one and only Manny Navarro. How you doing, baby? How you doing,
Great.
Manny?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Very good.
Good to be back, man. It's been a while.
Concert tickets and old stuff that I from over the years of going to events. Did you keep any of your old concert stubs or anything like that?
I've got a bunch of old ticket stubs from sporting events back when I was a fan, like back when I was in my teens before I got into this business and started working over 30 years ago. So, yeah, I got a lot of ticket stubs. I mean, I got the 19, one of the last Dolphin playoff victories when they beat Kansas City at home in that great comeback against DeBerg, and I was way up in the 300 section.
Paul Langford made a play in that game. Paul effing Langford made a play in that game. He knocked a ball in the end zone. I think that's the only play Paul Langford ever made in his entire career, because he created the word toast. But that was so meant to be for us that even Paul Langford made a defensive play in that game.
I remember Christian Okoye was a nightmare in that game, man. He was tough to bring down.
He was the Nigerian nightmare.
Yeah.
That's what he was. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. How you been? Everything
I'm
good?
good, man. Can't complain. Good to have you back. And obviously we'll keep doing our thing every week here on the program. Thanks to our friends at Acura of Pembroke Pines. And we thank them at 15601 Pines Boulevard. They've got the 18th anniversary sale going on. We've been with them like 15 out of those 18 years. So check it out. The 2026 Integra right now, $239 a month. They can waive your first payment up to $450. The ADX right now, 2026 is $289 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. And we thank Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto and Tony Stampone, all the great people out there at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines for their support. All right, Manny, I wanted to start off by asking you about the offensive line. We're going through a transition, and one of the things I've talked about on the show, and you and I have talked about together on the show, is the first couple of years, Mario doesn't have a rotation, doesn't have a cycle of players that have been through the gamut and then preparing other guys. Well, now we're into that second cycle of players. So that's a good thing. There's a foundation for young guys when they come in to be taught by the coaches and by the guys that are already there. But now we're talking about this is probably his most successful offensive line yet last year's. So now you've got to, maintain that standard or even take it higher than that. Talk to me where you see this offensive line now going into the second wave of recruiting for Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head, all right? This is where we start to see things like player development. We start to see guys that are waiting in the wings for a couple of years. And unfortunately, you do have the transfer portal, so guys who get impatient want to head out, and they have every right to, right? They want to play and have a chance to make the NFL. So there's some guys who have left here over the last couple of years that would have been in position to compete for starting jobs. But I think Mario's done a phenomenal job of just developing guys. Samson Okololo is going to be one of those guys. He didn't play this spring, but he played a lot last season. 5-star recruit out of a Massachusetts area that everybody was like, oh, this is a Cam guy. Well, he needed time. He needed seasoning, right? Didn't play the top level competition up there in Massachusetts. So I think he's a guy who's going to be slotted in at left guard that's going to step up and go from somebody who started one game and played a lot of backup reps to being a solid starter, a good fill-in there. Ryan Rodriguez has been here forever, was temporarily in the starting lineup before injury. He's going to be your center, 6th-year guy. You don't have to go into the portal every year and get a transfer because you have somebody you've been developing and bringing along little by little. Matthew McCoy, right guard, he's moving to right tackle. I think left guard moving to right tackle, rather. I think he's a guy that, was solid last year, 16 starts. Your most experienced guy. Now he's going to be out there replacing CC Mauanoa at right tackle. And then you get the freshman that you just hauled in, the 5-star guy, Jackson Cantwell, who, he's a plug-and-play player. He's a guy that is going to be your starting left tackle probably for the next 3 years. And so this is what it's all about. It's all about having big-bodied guys ready to go. And they've groomed this group together. Is it going to be as good as last year's that was number 1 in the country with a first, top 10 pick at right tackle? No. But it's still going to probably be the best offensive line in the ACC.
Yeah. No, I hope so. And listen, when you can have a Jackson Cantwell sit out a year, that tells you already the kind of progress you're making, right? Correct? Because normally you would have put that guy in right away, but you had some studs already in place.
Yeah, and he's gonna play right away just because he's good enough, right? But you got him, you got Ben Congdon, who absolutely was a revelation, I think, in the spring, and people were like, oh, this is a top 100 recruit. He'll sit out a year. I think that guy can come in and be a part of the rotation. One of those other older guys gets hurt, he's gonna be the first guy, I think, in there plugging one of those holes. So I like the group. I think size-wise, they're exactly as big and as dominant as the last couple groups physically. It's just a matter of chemistry and gelling together. But listen, that offense this season, it is going to be explosive, and the offensive line probably isn't going to have to block nearly as long as they did last year for Carson Beck, because Mensah can move. He can make plays on the move, and they've got receivers that can get open. This is going to be a high-powered offense.
Oh, well, last year when they a few months ago when we had you on and they committed, I told you they got a better quarterback, dude. They improved that quarterback here. Now, I think what they got was the guy that's in between Cam and in between Beck.
Yeah.
Because he won't take some of the crazy chances that Cam will do.
Mm-hmm.
And he has way more mobility and probably, I think, even more accurate than Beck is as it is. So I kind of think that you've got the best of both worlds from him. I think I'm with you, man. I think Mensah is going to be a stud and a half here.
And he's got so many good receivers to throw to. Like I really like this receiver group. Obviously Malachi is the stud, but you got his teammate Barcade who comes over from Duke. That's 1,000-yard guy, high production, like a legitimate number 1, number 2 receiver in college football because of his production.
Dude. Comfort zone. There's chemistry right away between those two. That's priceless.
Yep. I think Josh Moore, who they're bringing back last year, you saw him make some plays, right? He scored a couple touchdowns, looked really, really good. Big bodied guy. Second year, I think he's ready to take off. I think he's ready to blow up this coming season and be a reliable big play weapon. Dalen Upshaw looked good this spring. The guy that everybody's raving about is the freshman, the Samarian Wingo kid they got out of St. Augustine. So I mean, they're loaded at wide receiver, and they got 2 transfers that are veteran guys that were production guys, Cam Vaughn and Vandrevius Jacobs. That's like insurance. I mean, you're basically 6-7 deep in the receiver room, legitimate of guys that can make plays for you.
It was your parents, right? In St. Augustine that recruited the kid, right?
Yeah. They got on him early.
I figured that. I figured that. All right, bro. When are we going to get back to tight end? You bitch. I need tight end. You.
Not this coming season. I think they're so good at receiver. Look, I like the Gavin Mueller kid they picked up. Israel Briggs is another, interesting talent, a kid out of California. I think both of those guys by the end of the season, by the playoff run, could probably be impactful players where, you go to them in the red zone, you go to them in kind of catch teams off guard, maybe with little play action, that kind of stuff, and you hit the tight end over the middle. Those are 2 guys that I think have a bright future. Elijah Lofton, I'm very interested to see, does it fully come on for him, because he's a guy who's been here now for a couple of years. We expected big things from him.
Bro. Yeah, let's go.
But he's undersized. He's not big enough. He's kind of a hybrid run, H back / tight end. He made some plays. He got hurt in the Ole Miss game. Let's see how he bounces back from that and whether or not they utilize him more in the offense. But it's an embarrassment of riches they got on offense, dude. This is going to be an excellent offense.
Yeah, I'm just dying for them to get back. Get back to having a tight end that's impactful in the offense, because that is such a safety blanket for every quarterback that's ever played the history of this game. If you have an impactful tight end, your quarterback is in a much better place, and their backs can catch the ball and all of that. Speaking of backs, the Ty Keys kid, how's he going to be thrown into the mix, or is it too loaded right now? Will he be in the back? How's the whole? We know Fletcher's the man, so how's everything else going to break down at running back?
Yeah, well, Ty Keys is part of the 2027 recruiting class. He's a kid who's still a senior, going into a senior year now in high school, so he's still got another year left. He's one of the elite recruits that Mario has in this 2027 recruiting class. He's going to be phenomenal when he gets here. I mean, this is a kid who ran for 3,300 yards as a junior, right? 45 touchdowns. He's high production.
So he's the starter next year, probably, right?
He's a guy who can come in and compete for the starting job right away. Yes, I think so. It's going to be, obviously, Mark Fletcher. I think they're going to save this guy basically for the playoffs again, right? It's kind of like you have some other guys that can make plays for you. Marty Brown is back, who I thought was excellent last year. You go back to that Ohio State game. He was phenomenal. And then the guy who they're expecting to bounce back from is Jordan Lyle, because here's a guy that was actually the starter ahead of Mark Fletcher last season in the opener before he got hurt, before he got dinged up again. And so he's finally supposed to be healthy this year. He had a really good spring. They're expecting him to sort of split the workload, I think, with Mark. Mark will be the big back they turn to when they need it, right, against good teams. And I think Jordan.
Notre Dame, baby. Notre Dame.
Yeah. Night game, baby. They just announced that. So it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to go to South Bend and check that one out.
Yeah. That's if I said it this year, I ain't traveling again for the Dolphins for years to come until they start winning playoff games. I'm not even going to. But if I travel, it'll be for the Canes from here on out, bro, because that's worth it. If I'm going to travel, it'll be for the Canes, dude. I'll get back to the football side of it, but I got to get to the disturbing side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Yormark Michael Yormark? Michael Yormark?
Yeah,
Really? I
I
mean,
know.
seriously, did you do your homework? Do you know what happened in the Panthers? Do you know the environment that was there at that time? Like, what are you thinking? I mean, I'm sure they've heard some backlash from people around the town that obviously they didn't figure. I hope they're
Mhm.
kind of taking a step back because to go from Radakovich to that guy, wow, bro, things are going too well to do this, please.
Yeah, I haven't dug into this story enough. I've been sort of sidetracked working on some other national pieces, but the last conversation that I had with Miami's school president was actually Combine Day, or not Combine Day, but Pro Day at with Joe Echeverria. I ran into him then, and the sense I got, listen, Joe is a very hands-on school president. Okay, he is at almost every football game, every practice. Like, I see this dude all the time. He loves the university. I have to get to the root of why they feel like Yormark is really the guy for this. And will they finally pull the trigger on it and get everything done? Because obviously there's been a lot of negative feedback since that story sort of broke. So I'm
He
interested to see
probably doesn't know anything about what happened in the Panthers. He probably has no idea.
Right. And so we'll see whether or not it actually crosses the finish line, or if they pivot and go somewhere else, or maybe he's brought in and not given all of the job. Listen, college football, one thing you can count on in sports, okay, is and athletic director jobs as well. Like, this thing is getting parsed out. All the jobs, all the responsibilities. It's not what it used to be, right? When you think of athletic director,
Expertise is in certain things because of what's
yes,
going on with NIL. I get it.
much more specialized. And the one thing you have to know about the University of Miami is they're fully committed to winning and getting this right. Like, Joe Echeverria does not want to be bad in sports. Like, they feel like sports is probably, next to the medical program, the second most important thing they do.
Is
That's
this
what
by any chance vetted through Mario?
I'm sure Mario probably has to have some input. I mean, he is the football coach, right? He is the guy who's rebuilt the program into a national title contender. So, yes, I mean, look, it was the same situation before. Mario was hired before the other athletic director. So the previous athletic director. So it's the same thing. It's football coaches have a heavy say in all this. So I'm sure he will have some level of conversation or input into this.
It's just it's really odd, and I'm sure that most of us in the media that are willing to speak up publicly, I haven't seen one person say anything positive.
Yeah, because everybody down here had a negative experience with when he was in charge of the Panthers. So it is what it is. People are speaking the truth. But again, I don't know the specific details of what this position is going to entail. Like I said, stuff continues to get parsed out. You have different people in charge of different things over there, and I got to dig into this story more. I just haven't. I've been so busy doing other things, but I have to at some point ask Joe about it and what the real story is.
Manny, I don't think this is going to happen to the average or the elite, but I'm hearing that there's some mortgaging of NIL money going on in colleges, and that they're getting into debt, and that NIL thing is becoming a problem, and it could become a problem for some schools. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody is struggling to raise money to pay for what the coaches want and what they demand and what the players want, right? They have a certain number in their mind of, we need this much money to pay for our roster, right? And let's face it, the NCAA, put a cap, right? A salary cap on how much you can spend. But the reality is everybody's using third parties. Everybody's going to companies directly and saying, hey, can you pay for this guy's salary for us this coming season? So absolutely, this was inevitable that you're going to get to the point where a lot of schools can't afford what they need to pay the bills. And so while there is revenue sharing and there is some level of policing of this, the reality is it's always going to be people demanding more than can be provided. Players are always going to ask for more than they can actually get. And so, I think from Miami's perspective, we're talking about the Hurricanes, and this show is always usually primarily about the Hurricanes. I don't think they have any of those issues. There's a lot of people in this community that want to see them succeed. There's a lot of money behind.
I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about us, but like I told you, I'm not talking about the elite. I'm talking about the middle.
The middle, the fringes. Yeah, I mean,
I'm dying for the Athletic to come out with a piece where they've dig into the finances of some of these schools, because they're taking risks because they need football to catapult them to a level. And they're mortgaging. That's what I keep hearing. And so it's kind of a shame, because these are academic institutions, and then the kids that are there for academic reasons are going to end up suffering, because if they've got to pay back a whole bunch of other money, it's going to take things away from other things.
What it's taking away from is the other sports, the Olympic sports, right? You're seeing tennis, you're seeing volleyball, you're seeing, and I know we still have Title IX and all that to help protect things.
Yeah.
But the non-revenue sports, especially the male non-revenue sports, I can see that taking a serious hit and in the coming years. And you're seeing it already. Programs are getting canceled, and you're starting to see the effect of it. I think, is there a long-term solution? I think they're looking for long-term solutions to try to fix it. Obviously, going to some places and borrowing money from some people that they shouldn't be borrowing money from, in my opinion. But it is what it is, and I think the expansion of the college football playoff, making the NCAA tournament bigger and longer, it's all geared towards just making more money to cover those bills. And will it ever get there? I don't know.
Hopefully they're not borrowing money from Tony and the Bada Bing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure somebody's borrowing money from Tony at the Bada Bing. I'm telling you, it's inevitable. Listen, you're seeing everything going on in sports now, man. The gambling stuff, it's all about money and greed, brother. That's what it's all about.
I know. Spring football. Is there a couple guys you saw? I know that, not everybody practiced and all that kind of stuff. So there's some limitations, but still, were there some guys that stood out, new recruits that you said, okay, this guy, that guy they're going to make an impact?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a handful of guys among the transfers that you'll say those will be cornerstones, right? We already mentioned Mensa and Cooper. Barkate, the Duke transfers, obviously they're obvious. Damon Wilson, the edge rusher from Missouri, is going to be a starter and a guy who plays a ton. I think Keona Davis and Jarquez Carter, the two defensive linemen they got from Nebraska and Ohio State, are going to probably be depth pieces. I really like the Omar Thornton kid, the cornerback they got out of Boston College. He'll be basically the Keontae Scott replacement at nickel. Is he going to be as good as Keontae Scott? It's hard to match that year in and year out. But I think this guy he was a huge playmaker on a bad Boston College team. And he is ready to go, hungry, wanting to be an impact guy. That's exactly what Keontae Scott was, right? He wanted to do the same thing, come in and be an impact guy. So I think among the transfers, those are the names to know. Vandrevius Jacobs is another one, the receiver from South Carolina. But recruits-wise, Cantwell, Ben Congdon on the offensive line. Samarian Wingo, I already told you about it, receiver. J.J. Dunnigan is a kid they got out of Kansas, safety, corner type guy that can come in. They're loaded in the secondary with experience, but this kid right off the bat caught everybody's eyeballs in camp. He is going to be a dude for this Miami team in the years to come. Does he play right away as a true freshman? Probably not, but you'll see him on special teams. And if somebody gets hurt, he may be somebody who comes in at the end of a game or in the middle of a game and you're like, who's that? Oh my God, that guy's good. It's going to be that kind of a player for Miami. So I look, they've done a good job recruiting. I'm not worried at all about player development or anything like that. They've got dudes. I just think this is a very veteran team, has a chance to win a national championship. So a lot of the names that you are going to see on Saturdays is going to be names that you saw at the end of last season during the playoff run. It's going to be those guys. Yes, they lost a lot to the NFL, the nine draft picks, etc. But these are names that are not unfamiliar to you. You've seen some of these dudes play. You've seen Justin Scott play on defense. You've seen some of the dudes in the secondary now for a couple of years. So those are going to be the guys making the plays.
By the way, Malachi Tony working out with Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah. Malachi is a popular dude, and obviously somebody that is well connected, has a lot of friends in this business, and has been all over the country already just as a freshman.
Friends, I say respect. Seriously, when one of the two best receivers in the NFL says, "Yeah, kid, I'll work out with you."
Yeah. Well, people don't realize.
Charles Barkley would say, "Ain't that some shit?"
Yeah, and listen, you know this. Oh, all of these NFL dudes, they want to come hang out here in the offseason, right?
Well, but that says something. Like, we know that Malachi's special as a person, as a player. You saw, when he had to get together with the kids this last week, and the kids going freaking nuts for him. So we know he's special. But when you start seeing a guy like that in the NFL that's willing to take his time to work with him, I think that's freaking cool. And then at the same time, the fact that he's also smart enough to go pick anybody's brain out to get even better, that's pretty awesome, dude. I mean, to have Malachi working out with Jackson Smith and Jigba, I thought, wow, bro, this kid just is a marvel on and off the field. Yeah,
special talent, and a lot of people got to watch that and be there in person and see them interacting, and other young guys from this area that want to be great too. So Malachi's special, man. Like he's identified the right guys, right? You had Ruben Bain and CeCe Mauanoa. Now you got Malachi to sort of help carry the flag here the next couple of seasons, the next 2 years, and be the face of the program. That's what he's going to be. I mean, to me, if Miami has the type of season they're going to have, right, because they have the talent and the ability on both sides of the line of scrimmage, the depth, everything they need, I think Malachi Tony is going to be at the Heisman ceremony at the end of the year.
Yeah, I would not put it past him. That's for damn sure. All right, Mario rounded out his coaching staff. What changes did he make or tweaks?
No tweaks. I mean, we basically had one job that was unfulfilled, which was the cornerback's job. But Terry Jefferson was the nickelbacks coach last year as an assistant, like one of those extra assistants you're allowed to add. Well, now he's one of the 10 as the cornerbacks coach. Terry's a guy who played football for Ice Harris down at Booker T, went to FAMU to play, and has been a part of this community for a long time. Perfect dude to sort of step up and get a chance, right? Have that opportunity to have a bigger role. He earned it. I think Mario made him earn it, right? Didn't announce it before the spring. Made him show him in spring football and through recruiting that if you really want this, you got to show me how committed you really are and how far you're willing to go. And the guy earned it. And Terry's a good addition. He'll obviously continue to work with the safeties coach and make the secondary one of the best in the country. Man, they're loaded like that. Receiver and DB, like that was a problem for several years here. That's no longer a problem. They got really good players.
When we look at the recruiting class, I know that they're still, looking out now for guys in 2027.
Mm-hmm.
But as for, there's no more transfers. It's done. We talked about how all those windows are done. But you said maybe some legal loophole pops up or anything. Do you see any legal loopholes popping up after these spring games?
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. I mean, the NCAA has created rules to sort of suspend coaches and not allow this thing to happen, right? Where like last year or the year before when they were able to sort of sidestep with Xavier Lucas, sidestep the rules, right, and get him in the class without going through the transfer portal. So there are rules in place. I think what you could still see are veteran graduate transfers, right? Guys that are unsigned, that are out there. If somebody has an injury or there's some sort of summer conversation where they want to add a grad transfer, I think that is still capable of happening. But beyond that, it would take some special lawyering to get something done.
All right, what are the targets for 2027? What are you hearing?
I like this class a lot. I mean, they're 15th in the country right now. They've only got 9 commitments, but it's not going to be a big class. It should probably be somewhere between 18 to 22 players in all, from what I've been told. Nick Lanier, the 5-star receiver, absolute stud from Carroll City, is the headliner. You got the quarterback, Israel Abrams. He's top 3 at his position, 5-star quarterback, kid out of Chicago. Good quarterback, 6'4", 187, the legit body. So those 2 guys right off the bat, like if you hold on to both of those guys, you're winning because you got a stud quarterback and a stud receiver. They've got some offensive tackles, some offensive linemen that are good, blue chip type guys. We talked about Ty Keys, the running back, already. What they're trying to add, Mark Matthews is a big target, and we talked about him last year. He's the number 1 offensive tackle in the country from St. Thomas Aquinas. The problem with Mark, and I spoke to him last year, I got the impression this is a kid that wants to go away. And so people think he's going to end up at Texas A&M. If he does, I'm not worried about it because Mario's been recruiting the offensive line position forever, and they've got Cantwell and Congdon that just got there that are going to be dudes. So would it suck if he left? Sure, but it's not the end of the world, You're going to have more offensive linemen to recruit. So if he leaves, no big deal. The names to know in terms of the next couple of weeks, David Folorunshue is D-tackle out of Chicago, top 100 recruit. And then another one is Ezekiel Ayangbile, a kid out of Houston. Those 2 interior defensive linemen are guys that Miami would love to add to this class. They're legitimate, blue chip, have all the goods. Those are the 2 names to know here in the next couple of weeks.
To me, what it sounds like, and I'm coming from a place of ignorance, so you tell me, when he was building at the beginning, you try to stack as many good players as you can, and you're recruiting as much as possible. Now that you're stacked and you're a set team, you don't rush to fill that entire recruiting class early. You wait, you pick and choose, because as the year goes on, you'll have a great year. Other names will surface, guys will arise, guys will be frustrated in other areas, and then that's when you start saying, okay, I can steal that guy. I could get this guy. I can build a better class by being a little bit more patient now because I'm going to have more coming to me. Am I right or wrong here?
No, absolutely. And the more that they keep winning, right, and showing the results on the field, it recruits itself. So while you may not get, they like this DJ Jacobs kid out of Georgia, number 1 edge rusher. They were fighting tooth and nail with Ohio State for him. Millions of dollars, right? Just where's he going to? The kid picks Ohio State, right? Okay, well, guess what? There's a lot of other good edge rushers out there. And Miami just signed 8 defensive linemen in this last class. So it's like sometimes the kids are going to look at your roster now and just say, dude, I'm not going to play there.
Right.
It's just, and in the end, that might be the best thing because he can go somewhere else for 2 years and then come back to Miami in year 3. Because, hey, I love what you guys are doing there. Now I want to be a part of it. And now he's played somewhere else, and he's actually a part of your team. So it's not what it used to be in terms of having to win these recruiting battles right off the bat. One of the stories I'm doing that I've spent a lot of time on this week is reviewing the 2023 recruiting class, right? The one with Ruben Bain, Maui Noah. Well, I've done it for all the top 25 classes. Do you realize, that the majority of the top 20 programs have had over 70% of their high school recruits leave already within 3 years?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's what we see. Transfer portal always loaded.
But the whole point is it's like you can sign all these dudes, right? But if they're not playing right away or they get an offer for more money from this school and you only think he's worth this money, he's going to leave you. Yeah. And that's what's happened. Nick Saban had the number 1 recruiting class in 2023, the last year that he had a full sort of recruiting cycle. I think there's 6 kids left out of 28 in Tuscaloosa that he actually signed. That's it, 6. That didn't happen 10 years ago.
No.
But that's happening now to everybody. You look at Miami's class, that class that Mario signed, I think there's 6 guys left from that class still at Miami. Everybody else left. Two of them got drafted, Ruben Payne and Maui Noah, and the rest of the guys that are actually physically here, there's 6 of them, and I think 3 of them or 2 of them are starters. That's it. So the hit percentage, we have to hit on 70% of our guys in the recruiting class, That's a pipe dream these days. That's not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly, because you're going to have the transfers come in, and they're going to fill a lot of your spots that you need year to year. Yeah, like the Canes have done with a quarterback 3 years in a row. Which now I would hope that it's either Luke Nickel or the other kid for the next 2 years, right? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, and that's all. Ultimately, that's all you can do, bro. Is like, yeah, it's Luke Nickel, who's going to be the backup this year, and then Darion Coleman. Like both of those guys, Coleman, looks really good. I told you about the kid that they have in the 27 class at 6'4", right. The Chicago kid who's great. It's a roll of the dice every year with that position because there's only one dude who gets on the field and plays. So it's like you have to recruit and then just keep loading up year after year and say, okay, if somebody gets hurt, this is who I'm sticking in the game. Yeah. So
I just see people playing and then the other guy transferring because he's not playing. So yeah,
right. It's just that's the hardest position. Like and I think this was a crazy stat, but I think last year in college football, of all the starting quarterbacks in the game, I think 75 or 80% were transfers.
Wow. Insane. Don't forget, folks, the 18th anniversary sale is going on at Craig's Inns, Acura Pembroke Pines, the RDX. My wife drives one every day. 2026 model, $399 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The MDX, which is one of the best SUVs in the world, $499 a month, a 2026 model. And they'll cover your first payment up to $1,000. 18th anniversary sale going on at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Manny, what are you working on in the Athletics so Canes fans can check you out?
Yeah, we have a little transfer portal buzz type, story based on how guys actually looked across the country this spring. I spoke to some people at Kentucky and Texas A&M and different SEC schools and obviously Miami, different NFL scouts, just to get an idea of who's actually looking good after transferring over, who's fitting the bill at some of these schools. So Sam Kahn, Antonio Morales, and I put that together. That should be coming out soon if it's not out already on The Athletic. I don't know if they've posted it yet. And I'm going to have a story looking back at the 2023 recruiting class from a national lens to sort of tell the story that I just shared with you about player retention and lack of it and just how crazy it really is. So, because people used to say, like I said, 60-70, if you can hit on 60 or 70% of your recruiting class, you're going to be great. And it's like, dude, the number is way lower now. And I don't think people realize that. So it'll be a little eye-opening piece for everyone to check out.
Money changes everything, man. All right.
Yep.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro so you can keep up with everything with the Canes and college football. And, of course, make sure you subscribe to The Athletic. Manny, we'll catch up next week, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. Good talking to you. Take care.
Where can you take $10,000 off the 2026 Acura MDX? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right. Thank you all out there. Appreciate you. And we thank Manny Navarro. Can't wait for the Canes season, man. Oh, God. Can't wait for the Canes season. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Bitcoin's at 80,133. It is dipping. As for the markets, just brought it up now. Let me see if it refreshes. Says it's down. Dow is down 32 points. The S&P is up 18. And let's see. The Dow is barely down 1/4 point. All right. There you go. All right. Let's see. No, Big O, it can't be true. Pete Kegsbreth says everything is great. Alexis says, I'm going in June to Nicaragua. Have fun, man. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Let's see. Frankie Fresco, the Skylar Tipton. Morning from Chicago. Think Blue Dodgers checking in from LA. I'm sure he's token. I think I can speak for most, says Big Johnson. It would be boring for us talking Dolphins all the time. And we enjoy expanding the topics and, of course, music. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, one of the things that we talked about this week, I don't know if Dolphin Dave is there, but we talked about how Mike Vrabel and some people are continuing to talk about like him getting fired. He's not going to get fired. I know the latest story now about him and Rossini renting a boat while she was pregnant. You can have sex while you're pregnant, by the way. I don't know if that's his thing, but kind of twisted or whatever. I don't know if it's his baby. I have no idea what's going on. But, and I've explained it to you, we're talking about the Patriots. They're the organization, Spygate, Deflategate, Asians Day Spa, Brady leaving Moynihan pregnant for another woman. Whatever it is, you could come up with all kinds of things. Drafting a tight end that's a part-time killer. Lisa Olson seeing Patriot missiles. There was Spygate, Deflategate, and then there was the other one against the Bengal Gates. Remember, because there was another one against Cincinnati. I mean, it's endless. A convict going out on the field and snow plowing so they could kick a field goal and beat the Dolphins. I think it was like a 9-6 game or something like that in the snow. Shula was pissed. We're talking about the Patriots, one of the dirtiest franchises in the history of the NFL. You think they're going to fire him? No, I because it's all over the place. People are saying it like, oh, I think there are no ethics in football. They don't care. They don't have a moral compass in football. They really don't. If you're winning, that's all they care about. And here you go. Drake May. Let me quote Drake May for you. Okay. He says, on defending on defending his guy, and if it'll be a distraction, he says, no, I don't. I mean, he's our head coach. I think he's done a great job of talking to us and talking us through it. I'm just looking forward to getting back on the field and getting ready. I know he's got the right mindset. I know he's a great human being, May added. I think he's, like I said, I love playing for him. That's the quarterback. Okay? The team's not going to do anything to Mike Vrabel. The NFL is not going to do anything to Mike Vrabel. He didn't break any NFL rules. He broke marriage rules. It's up to Mrs. Vrabel. It's up to Mr. I don't know what his name is, actually. I think it's been mentioned in one of the articles or two that I've read. I forgot the poor man's name. But whatever Rossini's husband's name is, it's up to those two people to decide what they want to do in their relationships. Because clearly their spouses have publicly embarrassed them to a level that, none of us could ever imagine, because we're not famous like that. So it's a crazy ass story, but it's infidelity. And infidelity is not going to take you down, dude. Especially if you're a good coach. If you were a bad coach and you were bringing bad publicity, they'd get rid of you. If you're a bad player and you bring bad publicity, they'll get rid of you. If you're Tyreek Hill, they're going to put up with everything until they have no choice but to let you go. That's just the way it is. It didn't matter what Tyreek kept doing. The Dolphins kept him. And some of the stuff he did was way worse than what Mike Vrabel did. Mike Vrabel violated his relationship with his wife. But Tyreek Hill violated another human being on a pier. And it could have been a lot worse if they didn't hold him back. He would have injured that guy. That's assault. It's a lot worse. They kept him like nothing. Like nothing. Clearly a dude that has anger issues. I mean, he was in court yesterday with the curvy model. right? By the way, she's good looking. I saw her yesterday. I was like, wow, I had never seen her face. She's actually a decent looking woman, man. Anyway, they will keep you, man. They will tolerate all your stuff as long as you're winning. But the Patriots are not going to fire Mike Vrabel. I get it if you're a Dolphins fan and you want everything bad to happen to the Patriots. I understand all of that, but that's just not the case, man. That's just not the case. And those of you out there that think that that's going to happen, these people, it'll pass and they'll move on and everybody will make their jokes. Now, it will be fun to see what other NFL teams do throughout the season and the memes and all that stuff. That's going to last for a while. That's going to last for a while. But remember, the owner got caught at an Asian day spa getting a happy ending. And he had to do everything possible. And I don't know how much millions and millions he spent to keep that tape away from the public use. Because we were all going to see that they were going to show his shriveled up little Willie getting, excited. Not that anybody wants to see that, but I don't know what's worse, being the owner of a football team and caught an Asian day spa, or Mike Vrabel cheating on his wife with a sports reporter. None of them are good, but if you're going to look at which one's worse in representing the fan base or the team, it's definitely Kraft. Definitely Kraft. He's doing something absolutely illegal. These people weren't doing anything illegal. There's nothing illegal about what Vrabel and Rossini were doing. They only violated the laws of their marriage. That's it. That's their business, not yours or mine. We make it ours because we talk about it, make memes, make jokes about it, all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's see. Kosa says, will other sports suffer at the U because of college? No, not at the U. I mean, eventually they all will suffer because if you keep using money for NIL in one way or the other. But what I'm talking about is probably going to hurt a lot of the middling schools that are trying to raise their level of, stature or whatever, and they're mortgaging money to pay for NILs. It's a problem for some universities. It's going to be an issue. It won't be a problem for Miami. It won't be a problem for Florida State or Florida or Michigan, or they'll get through it. But the next level, that's where they're going to suffer. And Ray just says it's like college football has free agency now. Can't wait for high school draft and trades. LOL. Right? Let's see. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate you. Sam. Thank you, sir. Faro Portugal, big O. Thank you, sir. Electrundo. Pat in Asheville. Talk about rocking the boat. Yeah. It's crazy. Let's see. Illegal versus immoral. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And by the way, the owner for the Patriots, all he does is produce. Right? If he was like a shitty owner and then doing all those other things, then yeah, then it would build up and people would boycott the team and all. Remember what happened with the Dodgers? That the owners were so toxic, and then they had this ugly divorce and everything, and I want to say 1 million or 2 million less fans went to Dodger games, and Dodgers draw 4 million a year. Okay, they are one of the top draws in all of baseball every single year. And that year, I forgot the names of the owners back then that were. This was right before the Magic Johnson people bought it. They bought it off of him, I believe. But they kind of saved the franchise in that sense because people hated them so much. They started to boycott the team. To boycott the Dodgers in LA, Bubba, to do that, you got to move mountains. Okay? Those people love their Dodgers. They worship that place. They go to the games. That ballpark is impeccable. Fans, I'm talking about there is a real love when we talk about Dodgers in LA, okay, and their fan base. It's like it's real. There's a lot of fake shit in LA. That's one of the few things that's real in LA, okay? And for them to get to do that, that's huge, and that forced the sale. Did that happen with Kraft? No, because he's winning. So it doesn't matter if he has a tight end that's killing people on his off time. It doesn't matter if he has Spygate or Deflategate or cheating against the Bengals. It doesn't matter if he has a cheating head coach. You're winning. So we will tolerate and look the other way while you're winning. The second you're not winning, the second you're not coming through, the second you're not making your money every quarter, the second you're not a good salesperson anymore, because if you're a great salesperson, but you're a cokehead or you're a womanizer and everybody knows it and all that, but you're the great salesman, they kind of tolerate it. Then when you become a shitty salesman and you're still a cokehead and you're still a womanizer, they're going to say, hey, we got to get rid of the cokehead womanizer. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. In every walk of life, pretty much, that's how it goes. CEOs got you in the black all the time. You're rocking. You're one of the best companies. All of a sudden, CEOs got you in the red. You're losing money. You're not doing well. He had the same addictions, had the same problems, whatever. But this time now he's causing you to lose money. You need a new CEO. That's how the game has been played, and it's been played like that forever. Mike Vrabel is going nowhere. Nowhere. If he loses, that'll be a different ballgame. But if he goes out there and wins again this year, it'll be just like water off a duck's back, as they say. In North Carolina, we can sue a spouse's lover. Vrabel Rossini would be paying out the nose here. Wow, I did not know that. Really? Did not know that. That is cool. Is it the feminist coalition that wants Vrabel fired? I don't think so. I just think it's people that look at it as, like it wasn't cool. And then because of that, you should lose your job. And that's just not the way America goes. It's not the way we do things. You have to compartmentalize the magical word we use on the show all the time. What happened in his personal life has nothing to do with his professional life. Now, when his personal life gets in the middle of his professional life, that's when it will cost him. At the moment, he was a great coach at Tennessee, and he's done a great job in New England. And something tells me there was a relationship, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, who's to say that Rossini's the only one? Who knows? That you can't answer that, I can't answer that. None of us can answer that. Insane, but that's kind of where we're at. By the way, All Year Cooling and Plumbing. We love talking about Tommy and all the great people at All Year Cooling and Plumbing. 888-204-5554. They are Florida's #1 AC and plumbing service. They've been around since 1973. This is year 53. It's amazing, dude. Over 350,000 satisfied customers. Homestead of Vero Beach and now Naples out on the West Coast. And we got a bunch of listeners over on the West Coast, because they called Welton Rayom during the storm and all that. So if you have any issues with your AC or plumbing, All Year Cooling can take care of you there in Naples, or Homestead of Vero Beach Give them a ring. 888-204-5554. Extended warranties, financing available, same-day installations, free repair services, 7-day-a-week service. You're going to love it. My AC is cranking right now, and it's been cranking thanks to all your cooling 16 years in. That's pretty damn good. Appreciate you guys there at all your cooling and plumbing. 888-204-5554. Let's see. Wow, Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel can be a rom-com. Yes. Now on a boat while pregnant. The Titanic sequel could be a Tubi or Hallmark. Think Blue Dodger says, yes, sir. Dodger Stadium is the real deal. I've been there. I've been to more Dodger games in the last 7 years than Marlins games. How about that? I've been to more Dodger games than Marlins games in the last 7 years. Why? I haven't gone to a Marlins game, but every time I go to LA, I go to a Dodgers game. Well, as long as it's baseball season. If it's baseball season and they happen to be home during the week I'm there, because usually when I go to LA, I go for a week. And I go to a Dodger game. Always. I try to go to a Dodger game. I tell everybody that, and they're not my favorite team or anything like that, but I tell everybody that if you want the perfect baseball experience, a Dodgers game. End of story. Forget about it. The atmosphere, the people, go up to the top of Dodger Stadium and walk all the way around and look at how majestic it is because you're in a valley. It is so gorgeous. Get a Dodger dog. Dude, it's what baseball should be. That's why they draw 4 million. Because when you go there, you feel the great experience of really enjoying a baseball game. And, obviously it helps that they spend that too. But just the whole atmosphere, just taking in the game itself, it's a great experience for people like me that love baseball, that really enjoy baseball. And at least I can walk in knowing, well, these people don't scam their fans because they give them the best atmosphere, the best stadium. That stadium is from the 50s, and it looks impeccable, dude. Impeccable. Clean. So you got a great team on the diamond. You got a great atmosphere inside that stadium. You get a perfect experience of baseball. It's just stupid how perfect the experience and everything is at Dodger Stadium. That's the way I look at it. Because I know it's like nothing we have here. That's the part that sucks. Oh, what else do we have here? Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat. Titanic 2 starring Vrabel and Rossini on Hallmark. Oscar says, Big O, people up here in Boston praise Vrabel and they could care less about the Rossini stuff. I know, dude. I know. It's all the people, I hate to put it this way, kind of on their high horses, and they don't realize that this is life, bro. This is the real world. And in the real world, if you're productive, they're going to tolerate you more. And little things like this have nothing to do with your job. They just don't. We're making it, but it really has nothing to do with his job at all. He's been able to balance his relationship with Rossini, his wife, and being a football coach with two different teams. Oh, no, being with 3 teams, because he was with Tennessee, then 1 year as a consultant with Cleveland, and then he goes to the Patriots. So all throughout that, he's had relationship with Rossini, married, and he's been one of the best 5 coaches in the NFL during his tenure. Because from the Titans to the Patriots, he's one of the 5 best NFL coaches. I don't think that's really up for much argument. When you could go as far as you did with Ryan Tannehill, you're a pretty damn good coach, bro. You're a pretty damn good coach. I can't ask you to get over the hump because you've got Ryan Tannehill. And, it was proven. You got Ryan Tannehill. But you got farther than almost anybody could ever with that deadbeat at quarterback. That's impressive. You can have as many girlfriends as you want. That's what any owner is going to say. Go ahead. Go have at. You know how back in the day, I don't know, depends on what kind of fathers you had, but some fathers, they love to hear about your exploits as a kid, right? Oh, you're going out with that girl? Oh yeah, you got another one? Oh, okay. That's kind of the way it is. They don't care. They don't care. Is he winning? Yes, that's all that matters. So the whole Rossini thing, it'll never happen, dude. It'll never happen. He has to commit a crime, and he hasn't committed a crime. The owner did, but he didn't. That's kind of how people leave. I'll give you a great example. Here we go. It goes into politics a little bit. Okay. You know how we can't really control, because some people thought because we pump our own gas, we could control the gas prices, and we can't, right? And so they're explaining that. But they use also the Biden era to explain because of the pandemic, they couldn't, well, you see, they couldn't control it and neither can we. Well, there's a whole difference. Okay. You started a war that created an energy crisis. You didn't have to start a war and you wouldn't have created the energy crisis. Nobody had any control of a worldwide pandemic that screwed up every supply chain in the world because every country was handling the pandemic in their own way and shutting stuff down. So it was causing problems that nobody had control over. That's a whole different ballgame than what was self-inflicted now. So when you look at the owner of the Patriots, that was self-inflicted. He committed a crime. He went to go get his tallywhacker played in public at some place that's not what you're supposed to be doing. That's a crime. Mike Vrabel committed no crimes whatsoever. Diana Rossini committed no crimes whatsoever. They are probably not happy with their current marriage, so they have been flinging for a while. And this is their side pieces. That's it. That's not a crime. Whole different ballgame. Okay? Different kinds of controversy. But one is a crime. That was Kraft. This one is not. And that's what people cannot let go. Just like the two different problems with the supply chain now, one was self-inflicted. The other one, no one had control because we can't control what happens in some Chinese lab testing place in Wuhan. Anyway, so I get you, Oscar, why people are the season ticket holders gave Vrabel a standing ovation. Season ticket holder. There were women there too. Remember when Ray Rice beat down his woman and even then after dragged her out like a sack of potatoes and spit on her, we had women wearing jerseys of Ray Rice. Save Ray Rice. A guy that was getting 3 yards a carry. And that's why he didn't continue, because he was getting 3 yards a carry. Women wearing Ray Rice jerseys. And he beat that woman, spit on that woman, dragged that woman. Mike Vrabel is just having sex with a sports reporter. Those are two consensual adults that they decided to have this affair on their own. That's their problem, not ours. That's Mrs. Vrabel's problem and Mr. whatever his name is. that's married with Rossini. Really has nothing to do with any of us. We just use it as material to have fun and all that kind of stuff. That's it. You know, they'll pay the price. They'll pay the price in a public fashion, but professionally, only one ends up paying the price because she was getting information the wrong way. So that's the reality, unfortunately. Dow is down 78 points. The S&P's up 7, and the NASDAQ is barely up, just like nothing, really. And Bitcoin is now under 80 at 79.8. So we had a nice little dip here going on. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar. And we start off, of course, Alan Blanco, custom printing and embroidery. If you need it, call them 786-618-1443. Saturday at 7:15, Toronto will be hosting Inter Miami, Inter plus 100, Toronto plus 225 at 7:30. Fort Lauderdale United wrapping up that regular season beyond Bankcard Field. They are hosting the Carolina Ascent. Get on down there, man. Get some tickets. Get some tickets for next year. The men's game is coming too at FTLUTD.com. Last night in the NBA, the Knicks took a 2-0 lead as they defeat the Sixers 108-102. The Spurs, Wemby actually played offense. You know, he shot 7 of 15, scored 19 points. So they won 133-95 against the T-Wolves. They tied it up at 1, but the T-Wolves kind of did what they had to do, get a split in San Antonio. Cavs tonight taking on the Pistons. Pistons are leading 1-0. The Pistons are favored by 3.5. The over and under is 215.5. Cavs plus 135. Pistons minus 160. At 9:30, Lakers taking on OKC. OKC favored by 15.5 points. The over and under is 209.5. Lakers plus 550. OKC minus 850. I mean, the Lakers have overachieved to get where they're at. So congratulations to them. None of us expect them to beat OKC. All right. That is your 3A graphics sports calendar. Can I give you guys a bit of advice? Speaking of the pandemic. In the pandemic, a lot of people turned away from handshakes and went to fist bumping, right? Maybe you should do that permanently. Only 19% of the people worldwide wash their hands after using the toilet. 1 in 5, dude. So when you watch somebody walk out of the bathroom, there's a good chance that person didn't wash their hands. 1 in 5. And it's not a developing problem in the world. No. Observers studied that in the USA, 31% wash correctly. So here it's 1 out of 3. So 2 out of 3 people walking out of the bathroom did not wash their hands. In the UK, it's 25%, 1 out of 4. And in Germany, it's 30%. The rest, well, the percentages are really low and really bad. I'm just saying, fist bump might be the way to go all the way. And especially if you're traveling, they don't know what a fist bump is, teach them. Teach them. Or, that's the good thing about Asia, right? You go to Asia, all right, great, no handshaking, especially when they're not washing their hands. Just saying. I saw that stat yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's kind of disturbing. That is disturbing. Big O, wonder why there's a Michael Jackson 2 sequel going to turn bad. Well, maybe if they do it, they left it that way. because after that stage, it really gets crazy with them. All kinds of stuff happens from bad on. I don't know. We'll see. But that's kind of where it stopped. I enjoyed it. Today I am going to see Burning Ambition, which is the Iron Maiden movie. Looking forward to that. I'll give you a review on that, but it'll probably be outstanding because I am very biased when it comes to Iron Maiden. I love their music, so I it's hard for me to not enjoy what I'm going to watch today. By the way, did any Iron Maiden ones? Let me see. Out of the old tickets that I brought up, let me see. I think I have an Iron Maiden one. Yeah, I do. Of course I do. This is Iron Maiden at the Hollywood Sportatorium, $16.75 at the gate. And August 5, 19, I think it's in pretty good shape, but the year, I think it's 1985. There you go. With time, some of this stuff fades. And I've got it in a plastic thing to kind of protect it. See, like this. But yeah. Let me give you, what else do we, I don't even know how these survived, these Pink Floyd ones, because we got rained on, dude. We got rained on in that one. This one, let me see. Oh, okay. By the way, this is the other one. This is the Citrus Bowl one, not even the Orange Bowl. I saw this one the next day in the Citrus Bowl. Not the Orange Bowl. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, and this is another U2. I showed you one from 87. This is from 85. Pretty good shape, huh? $14.50. There you go. Not bad, huh? Row 3. There we go. Row 3. I was on the right side. Seat 12 and 13, it says. All right. What else? I don't know how these Pink Floyd ones survived because it was an absolute downpour on both shows. Downpour. Miami and in Orlando. Oh, God. Anybody remember this game where Edgerrin James had 300 yards against UCLA? There you go. I was Cal Poly Dixon, Danny Farmer. The quarterback was, oh God, what was the kid's name? Yeah, I remember they had a high scoring offense, UCLA, and then Miami put up one hell of a fight, and Edge had like the game of his life, dude. He was amazing that day. This was when I was a Miami Vice extra. It was a scene in the what's that called? In the Miami Grand Prix in downtown Miami. So they needed people to be. I'm there, but I don't even know if I ever saw myself in that episode because I have it and everything. I looked for it, but I don't think I saw myself in the crowd. But we were there and part of the crowd so they can film because the cars were zooming by and they needed a lot of people. So I was one of the Miami Vice extras that day. That was fun, actually. being on the set and watching that stuff live. That was cool. It took you like freaking like half a day, and I didn't end up. I don't even know if I ended up in the scene or anything because it's just too hard to find yourself in the crowd, overall. But yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. So there you go. There's a little reminiscing on the past, especially the Orange Bowl. Let's see. Vrabel has excellent time management and multitasking skills. Can you imagine stuttering Mike McDaniel trying to pull this off? That's a good point, Daniel Guzman. That's a good point. This guy can balance a lot of things. Multiple women, a team, all kinds of problems, A.J. Brown, you name it. Yeah. Ryan Tannehill's up and downness. Yeah, that guy can handle it all. I was once at a work conference with a famous leadership book author. I happened to walk into a restroom, and he was coming out of the stall, and straight out of the door, no washing up. There you go. Fist pump. Fist pump. Anthony says the Jackson 5 ticket, get it graded and put it on eBay. Maybe some fans will buy it from you. The ticket you got has some. I don't think I have the Jackson one. I don't think I have that one actually of the Jacksons. I'm not sure. I have another group of tickets too. I have a bag full of tickets too. Those are just some that I have in a cellophane, but I have another group of a whole bunch of tickets and old ones too. I just don't know, but I don't know if I still have the Jacksons ticket. I can't say I kept all of them, dude. I tried, but no. What I was able to keep most were all my media credentials. So a lot of the stuff that I did, from covering Olympics and Super Bowls, World Series, all the teams, everything, that I was able to do. Stanley Cup, all that, because I did cover the first Stanley Cup. I didn't cover any of these personally, but I did cover the first one back in the arena. I kept all that stuff. I do have all of that. That I should do. I could do I could fill the walls in my studio with just media credentials. It's probably what I could do. Not that I would. It's fine the way it is right now. I'm not changing too much, although I do need to change the back because I have a lot of stuff that I need to display. But I just been lazy about it and have not changed the studio up. Let's see. Not criminal, but it would be obscenely funny if Vrabel and Rossini were robbing banks during their special visits. Now, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And then maybe you could fire him at that point. Maybe. Oh, man. The Dolphins. I don't know if the NFL will get it right, but the USA Today did. Okay, last year, the NFL got it wrong. And a lot of us, some of us, I'm sorry, because there were some of you out there that thought you were going to have a good year and stuff, and people thought they were going to start 5-1 or 7-0 or something stupid like that, which is just ridiculous. I expected a terrible year, as I told you guys. But there were some of you that were expecting a good year, and especially the NFL. The NFL thought that the Dolphins were going to be good because they gave them, 5 or 6 primetime games or whatever the hell it was? And they didn't deserve one of them. After it all turned out, they didn't deserve one of them. Well, the USA Today, since the schedule hasn't come out, it's the off season, it's slow. They wanted to come up with an article that describes the 5 teams that don't deserve to get a primetime game. And guess who's on that list? This writer for the USA Today got it right. He got the Falcons with Tua and the boys, the Dolphins with Malik Willis and the boys, The Commanders, who flopped last year with Jaden Daniels, unfortunately. The Arizona Cardinals, which they should be there every year, and the New York Jets. And I got to say, as a Dolphins fan, as a very passionate Dolphins fan, do me a favor. Don't put my team on prime time anymore. I don't need the rest of the country to see what kind of an embarrassment we are. You know, put the team back on prime time when they're actually like good. Then, you can showcase. And then the other thing is, I don't need to go late to sleep later on in the evening to stay up to watch the Dolphins and be tortured. So that's another reason why I don't want them on prime time. I don't need Monday or Sunday night games or Thursday night games. I'm good. I know we're going to be stuck with one of those Thursdays. That's because everybody's stuck with one of those Thursdays. But please, no more Sunday nights, no Monday nights. Our team doesn't need it, doesn't deserve it. And I don't need to go through the embarrassment. Let's keep them all at 1 o'clock. And if you visit somebody out on the West Coast, then we'll play at 4. And let's just call it a season, man. And let's hope that Sully and Half start turning this thing around and making it head in the right direction. But what I don't need, and you don't need, we don't need any more national games, dude. We don't. The Dolphins don't deserve it. And it's just a pain in the ass in our lives. Because then we gotta stay up later, be tired the next day when you get up. For what? If you were great and you would win, remember, those of you aren't old enough, but the Dolphins used to go on Monday night and it was like almost automatic that they would win. We didn't have a problem watching Monday Night Football and staying up late and all that because the next morning we rarely ever felt it because we won more often than not, because we belonged on primetime television in those days. We don't deserve to be on primetime television. Plus, I'm a Dolphins fan. I've taken enough hits. I don't deserve the embarrassment anymore. That's all. Just please. Okay? No more embarrassments. That's all. No more embarrassments. Pat says, I've always hated night games, even before the Midnight Miracle. Yeah. Night games. When I was young, I didn't mind the night games. When we were good, I didn't mind the night games. Now, I constantly hate the night games because our team is never really good. And it's just going to be a bad night. And we're the only ones on. And that's just terrible, dude. Like last year, why would you give the Dolphins that many primetime games? What were you thinking? What was anybody thinking that thought the Dolphins were going to be good last year? Seriously, we had people that they must have been on drugs thinking that they were going to go 5-1 or 7-0 or something. What kind of stupid shit is that? I would really question that person's assessment of anything. Just here, man. It's not aqua and orange, but I mean, if you're just going to wave a pom-pom, then just go ahead and do it, baby. Have some objectivity, please. 5-1, 7-0. Now, I don't know if Malik Willis will be the guy, but there's a guy that I want you to watch because he's not a guy that I may not want on this team, even if he's a good quarterback. I got to tell you, I don't know. Did you guys see the Minnesota quarterback? Standout Minnesota Golden Gopher Drake Lindsay was arrested Friday for allegedly using a fake ID to go to a bar drinking while underage. He's 20. He was arrested in his nativeville, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Native. after staff at the Ye Hog local bar, we're in Fayetteville, suspected he was using a fake ID. Lindsay admitted to the police that he had used a fake ID and consumed alcohol before arriving at the bar. Lindsay was eventually released after posting $470 bond. Minnesota said in a statement, the situation will be addressed internally. Last year, the 6'5" quarterback threw for 2,382 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, led Minnesota to an 8-5 record. This guy's pretty good. Big Ten, all that. He's pretty good. Right? Okay, wait a minute. Let's break this down. He's pretty good, but does he have common sense? It's his hometown, which means he's a star there. It's Fayetteville. There's 402 people in the entire town. So all of a sudden, you're going to go to one of the great establishments in Fayetteville. What was it called again? This amazing establishment, the Ye Hog. Let me go on down to the Ye Hog, where everyone knows me, and I'll go with a fake ID. When everybody saw me grow up in this town, play high school, and all of a sudden I'm at a bar. And not only that, they reported his ass. They didn't even protect his ass. They reported his ass. This is not a bright individual. He's the quarterback. You have the money, send somebody to go get some beer. You're the quarterback. The party comes to you. You bring in a couple of babes, a couple of guys. You have a couple of babes with you. You're drinking. Nobody finds out. You get laid, and everybody goes home, and that's it. It's over. It's college. You had a beer. Who in college doesn't have a beer? I get it. But we're nobodies. So we get to have fake IDs and go into places. But this dude is like the star there. He's 6'5". Like, did he think he wasn't going to get noticed? Did he at least wear like a disguise with glasses and a mustache or something? Probably not. So I'd watch out with Drake Lindsay. This guy might be a few sandwiches short of a picnic. He might be able to play, but the lack of common sense would scare me already in the scouting department. That's all I got to say. Drake. Oh, Drake. What is wrong with you? All right, let's move over. Let's do birthdays today. Birthdays in music and entertainment. On May 7th, who was born on this date? We start off with J Balvin, Colombian singer Jose Alvaro Osorio Balvin, known professionally as J Balvin, one of the best-selling Latin artists with 35 million records sold worldwide. He's collaborated with Cardi B, Bad Bunny, and he's been on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 single with the #1 single, I Like It, which was also nominated for Grammy Award for Record of the Year. Born in 85. I got concert tickets older than that dude. Anyway, here we go. Phil Campbell. Come on. The Animal, Phil Campbell. Best known as guitarist for Motorhead from 84 to 2015. We just lost him earlier this year, March 13th in 2026, at the age of 64. And I thought, by the way, Phil Campbell and the Dirty Bastards, he took out, I think, 2 albums. I thought he did a really good job, especially that first one. It was really good. I thought he did a nice job after Lemmy passed away. He put together a little band, and I thought they did a really nice job. Steve Digley, guitarist with the Buzzcocks, born in 1955. Carlos Alomar, Puerto Rican guitarist, best known for his work with David Bowie from the 70s to the early 2000s. Born in 51, he also performed with Paul McCartney, Simple Minds, Mick Jagger, Iggy Pop, The Pretenders, and Brandon Flowers. So I would say Carlos Alomar has some skills, right? Bernie Marsden. He is a rock and blues guitarist with Whitesnake, born in 1951. Marsden, by the way, also worked with UFO, Wild Turkey in 73, Cozy Powell's band, Hammer, and Babe Ruth. He died August 24th of 2023. Prairie Prince, drummer with the Tubes, born in 1950. Bill Kreutzmann, drummer with the Grateful Dead, born in 1946. Thelma Houston, born in 1946. Don't leave me this way. Oh, baby, my heart is full of love, and it's all for you. In 1946, the great Jerry Nolan was born, drummer with the New York Dolls. Bill Danoff, singer with the Starlight Vocal Band, Skyrockets in Flight. Rossini and Vrabel for an Afternoon Delight. Couldn't help myself. What do you want me to do? Derek Taylor, press officer for the Beatles, also worked for the Beach Boys and the Byrds. Born in 1942, we lost him in 97. Jimmy Ruffin, he had the UK #4 single of What Becomes of the Broken Heart. Ruffin was also the elder brother of David Ruffin of the Temptations. Born in 39. And that is musicians. Now we move over to other famous people born on this date. Let's see. And could be a musician or two. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they are no longer with us, unfortunately. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. No, that's keep the birthdays going. All right, here we go. Musician Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky, born in 1840. He's pretty good, that Tchaikovsky guy. Actor George Gabby Hayes, born in 1885. Gary Cooper, born in 1901. Musician Teresa Brewer, born in 1931. Actor Robin Strasser, born in 45, 81 today. TV journalist Tim Russert, born in 50. Musician Eagle Eye Cherry, born in 68, 58 today. Actor Breckin Meyer, born in 74, 52. Medal of Honor recipient Mike Murphy, born in 76. Musician Matt Helders from Arctic Monkeys, born in 86, he's 40. Musician Russell Dickerson, born in 87, he's 39. Alexander Ludwig, the actor. He is, wait a minute, where are we here? Oh, there we go. Born in 92, he's 34. And musician Meniji from New Jeans, born in 2004, she's 22. And that is musicians and entertainers born on the 7th of May. Now we move over. Let's go with what happened today in music history on May 7th. In 77, the Eagles went to #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Hotel California, the group's fourth U.S. #1. In 92, the first Men at Work album, Business as Usual, already a #1 hit in their native Australia, is finally released in America, and in November, it rises to the top in the U.S. The amazing, the fantastic Paul Weller in 83 unveiled his new group, the Style Council. At an anti-nuclear benefit gig in London, the former singer and guitarist with The Jam chose a much more soul-oriented sound for his new project, which ran 6 years and produced 5 studio albums and 1 EP. I love the Style Council. Oh, man. So good. In 88, Terrence Trent D'Arby went to number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Wishing Well. In 91, EMF released their debut studio album, Shutbert Dip, and it features the song, You're Unbelievable. Oh! In 88, Steve Perry officially left Journey, honoring an agreement made with Neil Schon and Jonathan Cain that they would reform the band without him if he was not able to tour. He was replaced with similar-sounding Steve Algeri. Read his 2000 interview with Jill Riley, and they've got the link there, but whatever. In 2002, the lazy one, Lauryn Hill, released her live album MTV Unplugged 2.0, and it features the singles Just Like Water and Mystery of Ingenuity. In 2013, Fitz and the Tantrum released her second studio album, More Than Just a Dream, and it features the singles Out of My League, The Walker, and Fool's Gold. In 2016, after completing a tour with Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose took over as lead singer for AC/DC. I saw that tour, filling in for Brian Johnson, who had some ear issues. At a show in Lisbon, after Johnson was told that continuing the tour could result in permanent hearing loss, Rose filled in for the remaining dates as a guest vocalist. I saw it at the Miami Baseball Stadium, at the Marlins Stadium. That's where Axl did that one. It was pretty good. It's pretty good because the more Bon Scott songs they did, it went more with Axl's voice, actually. Because Axl's voice was closer to Bon Scott than nobody does Brian Johnson, bro. It's just, forget about it, dude. That's just like, yeah, why don't you go sing Louis Armstrong? No. It's just no, you're not going to do it. That kind of stuff. But he actually, on the Bon Scott songs, they were awesome. So it was good to hear in that sense. I was glad that I caught that tour like that, because I've seen Brian Johnson several times, and I saw him again when he got his hearing fixed, that he used that, I think it was a German doctor that has this device, and it helped him get back on stage. All right, let me see if there's any musicians that weren't on the other list. Nope. That is it. That's what happened today in music history. Corso, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Says, what's up, Bo? You're going to see Mortal Kombat 2 and the Mondo movie? I don't know if I'll see Mortal Kombat 2, but maybe. That might be one I can go see. I mean, I could go as much as I want, so maybe I'll go experience it. I'm not a Mortal Kombat, expert, but maybe for fun, I might see it. But I cannot wait to go see the Iron Maiden flick today, dude. That I am looking forward to. Cannot wait. Bitcoin's at 79,894 right now. And the Dow is down 100 points at the moment. Maybe Vrabel ratted himself out with Rossini. She might have been getting too clingy, and Mike needed a way out. Well, no, I don't think you do it this public, Kosa. No, I don't think so, my brother. No. Plus, she's married too. So you find a way to kind of end it, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of complicated. I don't know how you handle shit like that. I don't know. But it's weird, man. It is a weird story. I feel bad for the husband and the wife. That's who I feel bad for. I feel for the kids. I feel for the in-laws. I feel bad for the close friends, all that, neighbors. It creates just an uncomfortable situation for everyone involved, dude. It's not just the two people married, it's the people that are right around that circle. And it is tough, man. Tough on all of them. Sure, Vrabel and especially Rossini are going to go through different kinds of personal hell that no one else. But then they were at fault, so you don't feel sorry for them, but you do feel sorry for all the other people in that circle that had nothing to do with this. That's who I feel bad for, because you put your wife, your husband in a terrible spot. You put your kids in a super embarrassing situation. And especially if they're young, God, you know how ruthless kids can be. Can you imagine that? That's brutal, man. Yeah. What else? Yeehog. I can't, dude. That's right. It's crazy. What a story. That's why I doubt the rumors are false about Dolphins playing San Fran in Mexico. San Fran might be contenders. We're not even pretenders yet. They're going to stick us with one game somewhere. For sure on a Thursday night, or maybe and on top of that, maybe one of those Mexico games. The Dolphins do draw well because they have a lot of fans in Mexico. They have a lot of fans in Europe and stuff like that. I don't know how, by the way. I'm just wondering, all of you people out there that don't live here, Marino kept you being a fan after all these years. I'm impressed. I'm super impressed with that. I don't know how that is even possible. But those of you that like in Mexico, those of you out in the UK, you young fans locally, you people are the best fans that exist in life. Because if you haven't even experienced the good stuff and you're still like all over them, you're amazing. Like for me, it's different, right? Because I love the Dolphins, but I experienced all the good shit. So those of us that experienced the good shit, okay, we're tolerating the bad stuff, whatever. We'll wait, whatever. We got to see some of the, but those of you that have never gotten to see anything, or you got on the bandwagon, you were in another country and all of a sudden you started following the last 10 or 15, 20 years, 30 years, like you have nothing. You people are the best fans in the world because the Dolphins have given you nothing and you've given them everything. How does that happen? It's so impressive. It really is. It sucks for all of us, right? It's not an experience you all want to go through, but it's the truth. You people are badasses. I don't know how you do it, but you're hanging in there. That's impressive, man. It's very, very impressive. I think Robert Kraft wanted a piece of Rossini and Vrabel, didn't want to share, so he outed them. Thank Blue Dodgers. NorCal says, I experienced some good stuff, almost great, but still root Fins for life. Exactly. Jeff from Long Island, I have been a fan since 77. That I really remember. And Big O, don't forget that all the Fins fans in Canada, but like you, experienced the good shit. Yeah, exactly. But even fans that are away like you in Canada or Mexico or Europe or Central and South America, and you just got on 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, you're amazing people. At least, Brett, you say you experienced the good shit. So those of us that experienced the good shit, I'm not impressed by us. Because we experienced the good stuff. We lived it. We love it. We will always remember it. You know what I mean? It's different. We actually have the tangible memories. Others don't. So we can hang in there. It sucks. We don't like seeing our floundering team for 30 years, but we can hang in there. But the people that have never, ever enjoyed the good times, they are amazing. They are amazing. I just can't say enough about that part of our fan base. Can't say enough. Dow's now down 127, so I think we're on a little slide here. I wonder what happened. I don't know what happened. Somebody say something? Some crazy post happened or something? All right, folks, we are out of here. We appreciate all of you out there, as always, for locking it in and supporting us every way possible. Please hit the like button before you go or anytime you join us or any of the other segments. You can always make a donation, Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate it. Visit our amazing sponsors like Subaru of Pembroke Pines at 16100 Pines Boulevard. Remember, mention our name. You'll get $500 off. Great people there at Subaru Pembroke Pines. We shall see you tomorrow morning from Acura of Pembroke Pines. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.